If you enjoy the content on this channel, please like and subscribe. The Killer's Game is a 2024 American action comedy film directed by J.J. Perry, written by Ravich and James Coyne, based on the 1997 novel of the same name by Jay Bonansinga. The film stars Dave Bautista, Sofia Boutella, Terry Crews, Scott Adkins, Marko Zaror, Pom Klementieff, and Ben Kingsley. Killer's Game was released in the United States by Lionsgate on September 13, 2024. It received negative reviews and was a box office bomb, grossing just $5.9 million against a $30 million budget. Originally titled God-Forsaken, Ravich wrote his adaptation of Jay Bonansinga's novel The Killer's Game on a spec in the mid-1990s and sold his draft to New Line Cinema in December of 1995. Intermedia would produce the film, with Rupert Wainwright attached to direct. Wesley Snipes was courted to star by July 2002. Production was expected to begin that fall. A month later, talks began with Mike Van Diem to direct. New Line offered the film to a wide array of directors, including John Woo, Wolfgang Peterson, Alex Proyas, and Rennie Harlan, but failed to attract any to sign on. In August 2004, rights transitioned to Paramount Pictures, Intermedia, and Andrew Lazar, who were attached to produce, with Simon Kinberg handling the rewrites. Michael Keaton was at one point attached to star, while Simon Crane and Pitoff were considered to direct. Development came to a standstill in 2006 when Intermedia closed down. By December 2015, Broad Green Pictures were in talks to acquire the rights. In February 2018, STX Films took over, hiring DJ Caruso to direct and Jason Statham to lead. But by April 2019, Statham had exited and was replaced by Dave Bautista. Ice Cube and Morena Baccaran would join the cast. Caruso and Peter Landsman rewrote the script ahead of the planned production start on December 2nd in 2019 in the Dominican Republic. Development then quietly halted again in May 2023 when distribution rights shifted to Lionsgate, with J.J. Perry directing and James Coyne hired to rewrite the script. Bautista and Ice Cube remained in the cast, with Sofia Boutella and Ben Kingsley added. Later in July, the rest of the cast would join, along with famous WWE wrestler Drew McIntyre. In March 2024, it was announced that Terry Crews would star, replacing Ice Cube. Principal photography began in July 2023 in Budapest, with the film having been granted an interim agreement waiver to proceed amidst the 2023 SAG-AFTRA strike. Some fun trivia notes. Nicolas Cage was already slated to star in the film, and as mentioned earlier, so was Jason Statham, but both dropped out of the role. Dave Bautista and Sofia Boutella also starred in Hotel Artemis in 2018. Most notably, both Dave Bautista and Pom Klementieff starred respectively in the Guardians of the Galaxy franchise. Now, The Killer's Game starts very promisingly, but then devolves into total and utter tonal chaos. The film begins with a strong, action-packed narrative. Joe seems to be a nuanced and layered character, and initially Dave Bautista brings him to life earnestly. Even though he's an assassin and murders people for money, Bautista makes him likable, sympathetic, and almost relatable in a strange way. Unfortunately, though, the film then veers off course, succumbing to tonal inconsistency and complete and utter predictability. The plot revolves around Joe, who's looking to get out of the killer's game. One night he meets a dancer, namely Maze, played here by Sofia Boutella. They fall in love, and Joe wants to now start a life with her. But unfortunately, he's been diagnosed with Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease, a motor neuron sickness that will slowly lead him to his demise. Instead of committing suicide, Joe decides to have his life taken out. As he calmly says, "You live by the sword, you die by the sword." Also, he wants Maze to inherit his life insurance money, which of course, if it's found that he committed suicide, will not be paid out to her. So instead he organizes a hit, pays $2 million, and waits to be killed off. Of course, later on Joe finds out that he was misdiagnosed, and of course he'll be totally fine. Now this is when the film really just sort of shifts totally and becomes an action mess. Look, the good parts of the film is its engaging premise, and you almost feel put within the right hands. This film really could have been something, but J.J. Perry, a former stuntman himself, as director, just sort of falls flat in terms of telling the story as well as it could have been told. Terry Crews here delivers a solid performance. He's charming and likeable here as Lovedale, one of the hitmen after Joe. And the scenery in Europe is stunning, of course particularly the backshots of Budapest at the start of the film. Look, there's fun cameos littered throughout the film, which adds to the excitement. But unfortunately, the film really does lack in so many departments. Dave Bautista, who has become one of the finest actors to transition from the wrestling world, for me in this one, delivers a very monotone performance. His chemistry here with Sofia Boutella is not particularly believable, as she tries her best to get something out of him. It's kind of a one-note performance from an actor that I really do value and expect a lot more from. As I said, it's a performance of two halves. Initially, he starts off exceptionally well, but when the film becomes sort of an action comedy, Bautista just doesn't have that sort of charm to win it over. I found the score completely over the top and very demanding and annoying at times. It draws far too much attention from the film. The action sequences and violence can almost become cartoonish and unrealistic at times, and clearly there's wire work overly evident. For a former stuntman himself, J.J. Perry really does not capture the nuance and magic of stunt work on film. Look, the plot is completely predictable, and there are really no twists and turns that will leave you in shock and awe. And also the fact that Ben Kingsley now acts in this is a complete and utter waste of this man's talent. Kingsley for some reason has decided to go down this road in his career, taking easy, light roles rather than really testing his acting chops. The film, as I said, starts off as an action drama, but slowly shifts into just an absolute mess. This film had a lot of potential, but its inconsistent tone, predictable plot, and overemphasis on action spectacle make it a rather disappointing watch. I'd rather recommend films like John Wick or Atomic Blonde if you want a more cohesive storytelling and well-executed action sequences. I just hope Dave Bautista bounces back with a much better performance than this one. The Killer's Game gets a 5 out of 10.